Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, man. Back with the Avengers, a slightly reduced Avengers size today. A couple of the lads couldn't make it, man, so we thought we'd still throw the show on, but a couple of lads pulled out, man, so we're running. LB, Hugh, Martin, and JSGC, Jason, I've all linked your guys' channels down below, man, so go subscribe to the boys. You've got JSGC. JSGC, what is your next target, bro?
30K.
30K. And Martin?
2,000.
There you go, guys. So go subscribe to the channels, man. Help them on the way. Obviously, help support City channels, innit? Right, okay, lads. I mean, there's two things that I want to speak about on this stream. Last night, because obviously we have to speak about last night, and Jude Bellingham. So I'll just start with last night, and then we'll move on to Jude Bellingham for the second half of the show. Martin, let me come to you, mate. A lot's been said about that performance last night. For me personally, I think it's the best Manchester City performance I've ever seen in Europe. I think it was that good. Just how good do you think that performance was, and what made it so special?
I don't think we'll realise how special it was. It's one of them, you know, when you think like 12 months down the road and you go and you look back at games, that's when I think the enormity of last night will hit. Mm-hmm. But for me, I was in awe. Watching, I was quite confident going in. Mm-hmm. As I said on the last show, I thought I was quite confident, but it wasn't even like because Bayern were bad. That's what made it even better. It wasn't Bayern Munich were bad at all because they had the chances. It's probably the best defensive display I've seen us, one of the best midfield displays I've seen us, and then we've got the boys up top. Mm-hmm. It was just an all-round performance. I'll put it this way. I felt bad giving man of the match to one person.
Mm-hmm. Who did you give it
to? Like 9, 10 of them. They were, or 11 of them, they were exceptional. And there was something special in that stadium last night. I've not felt it bounce like that on a European night. Mm. Still always that murmurings of the booing and what's going on. But last night felt like really special. It was a real special one last night.
Well, you know what's funny is, right, people like to speak about the Etihad and they like to downplay it. If it's that shit, if the atmosphere is that shit and there's that many empty seats, why has no Champions League side beat us there since 2018? Because it's a fucking difficult place to go. All right, okay, it might not be the loudest stadium in Europe, right? It is what it is, but it's a difficult place to go. The players make it difficult, and it's an arena where, okay, some grounds you go and you have to deal with the loudness and the hostile environment of the fans. At the Etihad, it's more like you're on show. You're on the stage, man. You know what I mean? And some players, when they come there, can't deal with it. And City dealt with it so well last night. Jace, I mean, what did you make of it, bro? Because it was up there, wasn't it? Top performance.
In my opinion, I can't name you a better European performance that we've put out there.
I agree.
The only display just this season that I can think of that City have been like they were yesterday was when we were playing Arsenal at the Emirates, which is we allow them to have a little bit more of the ball. They can knock the ball about, but you can't create anything. And when City have got it about them, they're showcasing that whilst you associate passing football and the tiki-taka football of Pep Guardiola, sometimes the most important thing is just your ability to absorb pressure, attack, and score goals. And City ticked all them boxes yesterday, and Bayern Munich ticked none of them. It's far, far superior yesterday, City were to Bayern Munich. And as Martin was just saying there, the stadium, the atmosphere was fantastic. And I don't know about anybody else, but I just feel like with City's relationship with the Champions League and with Europe as well, I just feel like this just slowly started to be a bit of a momentum change there in the opinion and how the club, the players, the staff, and the fans, most importantly now, you just feel like everybody wants to win this competition. And City, in my opinion, right now, they're the team to watch. They're the team to beat. Everyone else in Europe will be looking at City thinking, fuck me, I don't want to play that team.
Yeah, and you know what's funny as well? I agree with Martin where he said, Bayern Munich weren't poor last night. Bayern Munich, I mean, Upamecano stunk the gaff out, let's be honest, right? Let's be real. But as a team, I thought they played all right. I thought they played quite well. So it's not like we played against a really poor Bayern side or they were really poor on the day. Leroy Sané had some great shots. Edison had to make saves. This was a good Bayern Munich side, a well-drilled Bayern Munich side that City put out such a good performance that Bayern just couldn't handle us, man. It was unbelievable.
I was in my review video that I've done earlier today. I was just digesting what Thomas Tuchel had said afterwards. In Bayern Munich played a good game. They played well. He feels like the only bit I disagree with is him saying he felt like Bayern Munich should have taken something from the game. They should have done something. I thought City were just far superior in all of the aspects of the game. But Bayern Munich, I compared it with the Arsenal game at the Emirates. Arsenal created nothing. Silly penalty was given away, and that was their only opportunity. Bayern Munich yesterday had, I think it was 3 very good opportunities in that second half. The opportunities are there. They didn't take them. And I was so happy to see how well Edison did. He pulled off 3 magnificent saves. People always saying he's Erison, he makes mistakes. 3 massive saves yesterday. Incredible performance from everybody across the board.
Hugh, what have you got to add on that, bro?
I think the lads are spot on. And as I said this morning, I think we were absolutely relentless. And I think what Jason's saying is right. There's a newfound momentum and a newfound enthusiasm to really push for the Champions League this year. I think the players and the staff, particularly the ones who've been around for a while, they're using their experience they've got over the last few years, because on the grand scheme of things, we're relative new boys in the block in this competition. But I think it's evident that we've gathered a wealth of experience from all our highs and lows in this competition, and we used it to our advantage last night. We were relentless. I think me and you agreed this morning, LB, that maybe this time last year, or in the Real Madrid game even, we would have conceded 1, maybe 2 goals last night, and it's a different story going to the second leg. So listen, this team is playing special football right now. We've won nothing, but it is some of the best football we've ever seen. Like on the eyes, optics-wise, it's absolutely beautiful. And people are starting to realize it, man. I'm seeing more talk on the timeline, more talk on YouTube about, I wasn't familiar with this player's game and that player's game. And it's not so long ago, people were saying City are finished, City are washed, we're inconsistent. And now we've clicked. We've really, really clicked at the right time, and everyone seems to be afraid of City now. People are tipping us for trebles, a conversation I'm not ready to have because I don't like doing that. But you know what? There's reality to it.
Yeah, no, it was.
Game
it
at
was
a time.
mega. Yeah, you know, it was really, really special. And yeah, I think you're right. And I've said all the time that the reason we've done so poorly in the Champions League is because we don't keep enough clean sheets. We can see too many goals. Ruben Diaz at the back yesterday. Oh my God! I mean, that has got to be up there with one of the all-time great performances of any centre half in this competition. I'm not saying it's the best, but it was got to be up there, man. I mean, absolutely nothing got. Did you see the way that he threw his body in front of Musiala's shot that was going in, by the way? Because if you look at Edison's gone the wrong way. Edison's diving to his left, and Musiala puts it to Edison's right. So if that gets past Ruben Diaz, that's a goal. He was diving in front of everything. No one got past him. He was absolutely phenomenal last night. And I said this morning on the player ratings, and I've had to think about it, and I agree with what I said. I think Ruben Diaz now has not only matched the level that he set in the first season, I actually think he's now exceeding those performance levels. I think he's now better than he was in that first season at Manchester City. I think his leadership is better. His on-the-ball game is better. I think he's better at defending, decision-making. I think he's gone up a level. I think we're seeing the best Ruben Diaz that I think we've ever seen at this football club, Martin. What have you got to say about that?
I'd agree with it. And there's no coincidence that the upturn came when Diaz suddenly appeared back into the defence. I also think it helps having a solid defence with him. I've never that back line now is like a family, and they're together. You see it at full time. The fist pumping each other, including Edison, and Diaz is the guy leading it. I'm not sure if anyone's ever noticed it, but we're now huddling. First half, second half, every time it's a huddle. I've seen it occasionally. It's every game. And it's Diaz doing the rah-rah. Here we go. The guy's just come. It's like it's his come to Jesus moment this season. You bang on his first season, exceptional. This season, he's gone to a whole new level since he's come back from that injury. It really, really has. And that's what you want to see. I want to see a leader like that leading the guys out, and he's not intimidated by anything. Throwing, like you said, Albie, throwing his body in front of everything. Because Musiala, it was going in, and he didn't care. The body was just going in, and it was one of those nights where that had to happen. And I keep coming back, but I don't think we'll realise how important that game was. Or that performance was until probably a few months down the line. I really don't. I think it's going to be looked upon as a great moment, and maybe a moment where we go, that's when we realised it. Because I think the world realised it last night.
Why do you believe that we can win this competition then this season? And if you do, or if you don't, as did last night, alter your perception on that?
I'm also a bit like you and don't want to say the T word.
Say it, man.
Would it not be typical? All right, then I'll say the other T word. Would it not be typical City after everything that's gone on this season? Our new formation, to stick two fingers up.
Nah, this is new era.
Here we go.
This is New Testament Man City, bro.
That's what I know. But we just go in and go, you know what? You wanted Pep out in November, and we were finished and we were done. Putting us all on the scrap heap while we're lifting 3 trophies. You know, that is just, I can't wait. I'm pumped for it because I don't see a team at the minute. I mean, I said something on our stream the other day. There's 2 words. Respect teams, don't fear teams. I now think teams fear us.
Yeah. 100%.
They fear us.
100%. And I just add on that as well. I think Pep Guardiola has maybe stopped thinking about opposition more and just thinking about the team that we've got and just thinking, I'm just going to fucking play the best team and I'm going to win the game. You know, like in previous years, you look at Lyon, went to a 3 at the back. Look at Chelsea in the final, didn't play as CDM. Yeah. Look at these things. All these decisions, in my opinion, were not because Pep Guardiola thought, ooh, that's the best way of winning this game. He done that because, in his opinion, he felt that could maybe nullify something to do with the opposition, whether it's you put more players forward on Chelsea, you take that midfielder out and Chelsea can't get out of the box, or against Lyon, you press them. I don't know. Whereas what I'm seeing now is, I'm seeing Pep just going, I'm just going to be brave and play the team that I think can go out there and just win us the game. And, basically, if you play this game 12 months ago, he doesn't play John Stones in CDM. He plays Kyle Walker right back. I just have a belief that that's what he would do. Whereas this season, he's not done that. And he's played John Stones at his CDM because he's confident in the team's performances. So it's a bit of a madness. Jace, where are you at with this? Obviously, Martin's saying that we could look back on this, obviously, in a couple of months at the end of May, maybe end of June, whenever the fucking final is, and look back at that game and go, that was the one. Are you confident? And did last night change it for you, bro?
I'm always an optimist and always confident that I know the level that City can hit, that if they can hit it on a consistent level, nobody in the world can stop Manchester City when they've got it about them. We saw a brilliant performance in the last 16-second leg against Leipzig. Because I remember doing the stream with you guys and I was a bit cautious. I remember speaking that the game could go to penalties. It was going to be a close game, and City just turned up and absolutely steamrolled Leipzig and showed that they are levels above where Leipzig are at. And then I think City right now are just trying to figure out, with this formation and the momentum that we've got, what is our level? Because at the moment, it's not just Man City scoring a goal and sitting on them leads. It's Man City scoring and not stopping. And yesterday, to beat Bayern Munich is a big achievement. To beat Bayern Munich by a couple of goals is a massive achievement. To put 3 past them and keep a clean sheet, to me, it's obviously caused big problems in the Bayern Munich squad. We've seen the news that's come out today. And it's all come down to they have no answer to Manchester City. And to me, I think Pep Guardiola's job right now has never been easier. He just plays the same 11. As long as these players are fit and ready to go, I don't think any team beats Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed this, haven't we, Hugh, on the channel about rotation and going forward. What do we do with rotation? I mean, we've got Leicester coming up at the weekend. You have to go strong for that, of course, because we have to win the game. We have to put pressure on Arsenal. We then play Bayern Munich on the Wednesday, so you got a few days there. Then some people might be like, "Oh, do you want to rest maybe 1 or 2 players against Bayern, but then rest them for Sheffield United?" You know what I mean? Who've got 2 players missing in Tommy Doyle and James McAtee. Like, I don't think you need to rest players against Bayern Munich. I think you're right, Jace. I think just keep playing the same 11. Obviously, it's going to change 1 or 2 players here, but keep the core. Keep the core of the team.
Keep it as it is.
Yeah, and then maybe you switch out Bernardo for Mahrez. You might I don't know, maybe one game you might just start Alvarez instead of Haaland, give him a rest or whatever. But do nothing stupid. Just keep the formation the same, innit?
I would, for Leicester coming up at the weekend, 2 at a very maximum 3 changes. If any players feel a bit tired, let the coaches know and they can be rotated because we've got the squad. But if we want to get the job done in Munich next week, I change absolutely nothing about that team. I go with the same 11. I go with the same team talk and I say to them, it's 0-0. Defend like you did at the Etihad, attack like you did at the Etihad and get the job done. And they will get the job done if they do what they did last night because Bayern Munich haven't got the answer, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll go through some of these super chats, and then I want to speak about a certain player on the pitch yesterday who I gave my man of the match to. Big up All Pissed Up. With the two says, done them so dirty, they're punching each other. Yeah, we've seen the news, and Abdullah as well says, we played so well that it forced Mane to show his best attacking performance by punching Leroy Sané. People have not heard the news today. Reports coming out that, in fact, you could actually see it during the game. Leroy Sané went to make a pass to Mane, got it wrong, and they started arguing with each other. Apparently, it escalated after the game, and Sadio Mane is apparently punched and attacked Leroy Sané. So, yeah, not going so great there. And I kind of agree with Jason. I don't think they have the answers, especially based on last night's performance. Emmanuel with the 5 says, Jude is great. Don't we also need wingers and fullbacks? Are we going full Pep? Every player is centre mid. I'll come to that in the second half of the show, Emmanuel. I'll put it back on screen later because I will come to Jude. But I want to just stick with the game last night because I want to speak about my man of the match. And I'd be interested to get all your man of the matches as well. Mine was Bernardo Silva. The reason I give it Bernardo Silva, I thought going into the game, I was worried about Alphonso Davies. I was worried about his pace. I was worried about in going forward, defensively, causing us a little bit of an issue on that right-hand side. Obviously, if Mahrez would have played, I would have been worried about him tracking back. Pep Guardiola made that big call because Mahrez has been great form. He played Bernardo Silva. I thought he absolutely destroyed Alphonso Davies. The amount of times he took the ball past him was incredible. At one point, he took 3 players on and was successful. He got a goal, good header. He got an assist as well. He ran his absolute socks off. I thought it was absolutely incredible, guys. Hugh, I mean, what did you make of Bernardo? You wasn't on the player ratings. I give him my man of the match. I don't know if you agree. If not, let us know who your man of the match is.
I think if that was just his performance in any other game, you'd give it straight to him. But it's hard because you feel like you're doing a disservice to other players. I think there's easily 5 or 6 players have a great argument as to why they should be man of the match. But based on the task that Bernardo Silva was given, which is arguably one of the toughest tasks on the pitch for a Manchester City player last night, and the manner in which he went about it and the success he got out of it, I give it to him. I know he got his goal. Did he get an assist as well? I'm pretty sure he got both. He got his goal and assist. He had a tough task, man. He had a tough task chasing Alphonso Davies up and down the pitch, who had a pop a few times. Davies had a real pop a few times, and it seemed like out of nowhere, so many times, this little Rottweiler was just popping out of nowhere and sliding in with challenges and crunching people. And they were fearing Bernardo Silva. They didn't know, do they dive in on him when he's on the ball? When he's chasing them, where do they go? Because they're afraid he's going to snap their ankle. He was full of tenacity. And the way we're speaking about, it's just consistency. Same team, week in, week out is what Pep should be doing. The one little tactical change he did make last night was Bernardo Silva, and he assigned him a very specific task, which he absolutely smashed. So I think I have to give it to Bernardo Silva. I think he was unbelievable.
Yeah, lads, what do you think about
Bernardo all day. I gave it to Bernardo just because, going back to Jay's point earlier, I think the right-hand side at the minute is the only place in the team I'm looking at it going, that might be the rotation side for the next couple of games. Because I look everywhere else and I think Grealish undroppable, Haaland undroppable, John Stones, I keep saying it, I think he's trying to turn him into the next Philip Lam. And he's hitting that for the last 2 years. He's always had this little thing of Stones can go here, and I think that could be the way forward. But Bernardo was just like a man possessed. Alphonso Davies didn't get a sniff. Coleman, whatever. No, he just locked it down. He locked it all down. And the big thing was, they ended up being more scared of him then.
Yeah.
It became a role reversion because instead of us all going, oh, Alphonso Davies was scared, they all went, hang on a minute, we've got Bernardo here, we've got to start watching him. And they started chasing him. And then it totally disrupted Bayern's whole play. Their whole, because I was more amazed Muller didn't play. It was the Muller thing that shocked me last night.
Yeah. Well, I think Tuchel clearly set them up, didn't he, Martin, to counter attack, and he just went for pace. But this is the thing, right? I said this in the stream before the games, man. Pace, people scared about pace. It's not FIFA. You know what I mean? It's not like you just knock the ball past players and just sprint after him or if you've got pace and the other team doesn't have pace, that's it, it's game over. There's more to football than pace. You know what I mean? You've got to have more to your game than pace. I thought some of the comments that people were making about Bayern's pace. Yeah, they pace. Yeah, it's scary. Don't mean they're going to win the game. It's not one of them things that's just going to absolutely get you the W. You know what I mean? And as Ruben Diaz rightly pointed out in his press conference when he was asked before the game about all the pace, we have our own players that can deal with it. What, you think Ruben Diaz has never played against pace before? Ake, Akanji. You think these players have just never played against pace before?
Like Grealish who keeps running back all of a sudden and
yeah, exactly.
out of nowhere.
He's turned into a box-to-box midfielder at the moment. But like, I thought we dealt with it extremely well. I thought Coleman was poor. I thought we made him look really, really bang average. I thought Sane was the only one actually out of the 3 pacey ones to actually make himself look decent. I thought Musiala was quiet, Gnabry was quiet, Coleman was quiet. Sane was the only one for me that actually did anything. I think everyone else was super poor, but City dealt with it so well. And for me, the large part of that came because of Bernardo's work rate. I'm not got the stats up, but I remember it from this morning when we did the player ratings. You had like over 20 ground duels. very, very rare I see anyone with over like 15 ground duels, man. And he had over 20. He was absolutely everywhere. Jace, what did you make of him, man?
Exceptional. I couldn't give a man of the match yesterday because there was just a lot of individual based performances that were just 10 out of 10s, that there was just lots of little duels going on between the City and Bayern players yesterday, that City were just coming out on top in every battle. One of my concerns heading into the game was it going to be Walker or was it going to be Akanji, because of what you were speaking about? Was it pace? Akanji was brilliant last night. Nathan Ake, he was fantastic last night. And it just adds to that little strong defensive wall that we've got. Jack Grealish was tracking back. I'm not sure if he got any goals or assists yesterday, but he was absolutely extremely important to how City were playing and constricting Bayern Munich, to the point that the only way Bayern Munich were going to make something happen is through creativity. And the one thing Bayern Munich don't have it anywhere in their attack or in their midfield is someone that can just pick them neat little passes into space to create something and find that through ball. They don't have a player that can do that. And City, there was space there if they wanted to. They just couldn't do it. It was literally just give the ball to someone who's quick and have them run. But City always had two players on them at all times. So there was nothing there for them. So these individual battles from City were brilliant. Stones, Rodri were absolutely fantastic yesterday as well. It was just an all-round sublime performance for me, and I struggled to give a man of the match because it was just so damn good from every player out there.
It is tricky to give man of the match awards. I struggled between Bernardo and Diaz. In the end, I did give it Bernardo just because he got the goal. I know the assist wasn't really. I mean, it was an assist, so I ain't going to take it away from him. But he didn't really do anything. It was all Rodri. But yeah, I just had to give it him, man, just for the work rate. But Diaz, as we spoke about earlier in the stream, was absolutely exceptional. Just to sort of finish up this sort of part of the stream, lads. I mean, there can be no way, right, that City chop this now. I mean, with 3-0 up, I think keeping that clean sheet at the end, when Bayern were pressing, I think that was one of the major things to come out of it, because going there with a 3-0 win, because the reason I think the clean sheet is so important is because I see us scoring at least one goal at the Allianz. And let's just say worst case scenario, we only score a goal. Because I don't see us firing a blank at the Allianz. I 100% believe we will score a goal. I just don't see how this team, who scored 4 against Liverpool, 7 against Leipzig, 6 against Burnley, 3 against Bayern, just go to Bayern Munich next week and just don't score at all when you got Upamecano playing like he did yesterday. So we scored 1 goal against Bayern Munich. They got to score 4. That's just to take it to extra time. You know what I mean? So I think keeping that clean sheet last night was so important. But I mean, everyone's confident, right?
They've got to come out now. They've got to come out now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think it is easier for us, because I think we'll exploit that. Because we ain't going there and we ain't going to change our game. No. Pep doesn't go anywhere and changes. He doesn't. We don't do the IKEA flat pack. We don't do any of that nonsense. We go there, we play our game, we do what we need to do. And yeah, Bayern will probably come at us for 20 minutes. The problem is they're going to leave space. And that's when we pick them off. And I think we'll probably, I think we'll score 2 over there, because I think they'll go for it that much. Or are they going to do a Liverpool and just sit back? Like when they went to the Bernabeu and they just went, nah, I don't know. And it's a weird one. Because at 2-0, yeah. 3-0 is a different ball game.
I think we could hit them for 2-3. I think we could hit them for a big score next week, because the reason I think that is, if we can get to halftime without them scoring, they're in panic stations at that point. They're starting to panic. They're saying, right, we just have to go for the jugular here. And they're going to start throwing everybody forward, taking unnecessary risks. And as long as our right now really solid defense can stay compact and weather that kind of storm, our attacking players, as Martin said, should pick them off with like light work kind of thing, with the amount of space they'll leave behind. They're attacking fullbacks, their wingers, they'll all pile forward, their midfielders. So the likes of, if Bernardo plays, or Mahrez, Grealish, who we've seen running with the ball with excellent pace recently, and of course Haaland, play the right balls through for them. And we could cause serious problems. It's just a matter of weathering what I believe will be a quick, impactful storm from Bayern Munich. But I trust our defense right now.
And we got to, for me, we've got to see that first half an hour out, man. Get through half an hour. Don't concede a goal. If they score a goal in the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm telling you, arses, 698 arses that are in the chat now are all going to fucking sink, man. I'm telling you, man. We got to get through that because I think they're going to have to start quick, right? They can't start the game and be like, oh, let's just work our way into the game. You know, like City sometimes start games, and sometimes we're a bit slow, and we try to work out the opponent. You know what I mean? We're passing the ball. We just passed the ball. We kind of did it against Southampton a bit. We just passed the ball between our defence, working out what's going on. And all that's happening is that the players are just trying to understand, okay, this is how the team's set up. This is how the game's going to go. And then you'll see after 15, 20 minutes, boom, they click into gear. Bayern can't do that. Bayern can't start the game at the Allianz and go, oh, let's take our time here. You're 3-0 down. They're going to have to go for it. So we're going to be under a lot of pressure. Our defence, again, is going to have to perform. But if we can get through that first 20, 25 minutes without conceding a goal, I think then, you know, we're in room for a good place. But if they score in that first 20 minutes, arses will be twitching, man. Any of you guys want to say anything? Hugh, you want to say something?
I was just going to say that in that away leg, I reckon we'll go with as close to, if not the exact same team we went with last night. I think Bernardo will start on the right wing again to give us that exact same defensive solidity as well as give them something to worry about going forward. And then when we get to that stage of the game where they are at panic stations, they are just going for it because they're out at that point if they don't do it. And you bring on Mahrez because he's the guy with more pace. And he's the guy who'll make those runs, and behind him will pick him out, and he'll be that bit more clinical. So Mahrez could have a massive say in killing this tie off.
Mm-hmm. Would anyone consider playing Laporte in the second leg?
No.
Who for?
Ake, Diaz. I'm just thinking you're 3-0 up. He's probably going to play against Sheffield United at the weekend. Could you put him in, get him a few minutes? No.
I'd probably have a look at like where we're standing at 70 minutes in. If we're in a good position, start to rotate the bench. We've got to go full strength, in my opinion, and that's the same team we went with yesterday. He's got to start if they're all injury free.
The only reason
The question you have to ask yourself is which defensive combination do you trust the most to weather a heavy storm? Because we are at some stage in this game going to have to endure a heavy storm of Bayern Munich attacks. And right now, having played something like 1,800 minutes this season, which I believe is less than Rico Lewis, do you trust Laporte in that situation? You're saying if we concede one goal, your arse will start twitching. I think Kanji, Ake and Diaz is going to give us the best chance in keeping your arsehole in good shape.
The only reason I said that is I look at that Southampton game, it told me a lot. Sergio Gomez got on before him.
Yeah. And I'm just asking the question. I don't want him to start. I'm just asking the question just to see what
start him in the FA Cup, definitely.
Yeah. Interesting. Right, I want to move on to transfers now because there's a lot of transfer news, obviously, this week, as you all know, and some more developments today. Before I do, got a couple member chats here coming in. Cody with a 14 months says Bernardo on both sides of the ball was amazing. His work rate is unmatched. He's the type of player you hate to go against. That's from Cody. Big up for the 14 months. Not really here with a 5 says with the way Grealish is playing right now, how easily does Foden get back into the team? Depends on the game. But he gets in over Mahrez for me. But not easy. He's not going to walk straight back into the team, that's for sure. But I think when he's fully fit, the way he was playing before he got injured was incredible. Dave Rocky with a 5. He says this. He says, big up LB, Martin, Hugh, JTC. Who do you want to win? Madrid or Chelsea? Of course, if we qualify for the second leg.
Chelsea.
Madrid.
You want Madrid to win?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would say what we're speaking about before with Man City having a bit between the teeth, that they've just got points to prove everywhere. I feel like we owe Real Madrid a point to prove from last season.
I hate English teams in the Champions League.
Mm.
Don't like it. Madrid for me, because I think, like Jace, we own one.
Yeah, we do. We've not had a great time with that Bernabeu, have we? So yeah, we could do with that. Hugh, what are you saying?
It's kind of like pick your poison, really, isn't it? I'm with Martin. I hate playing English teams, but I can't overlook Real Madrid. Like I can't say I actively want Real Madrid. They just have it in them to do it. I think we have Chelsea's number right now. I don't care what competition it's in. We should beat this Chelsea team over 2 legs. We should absolutely wipe the floor of them. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll have to worry about that because I see Real Madrid steamrolling them.
Yeah, interesting. Jay says, Sane back at City after loser Mane punched him. Also, we need to go full strength in the next layer because they're going to throw the kitchen sink at it, 5-1 aggregate. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of City fans out there that would love to have Leroy Sane back at Manchester City. And of course, now he's been assaulted. Call it what it is. That's what it is. You can't just go around fucking punching people. I'm saying that's assault. Maybe there's grounds for early termination of the contracts.
Hey, free my guy, man. Free my guy. Bring him home. Get him home immediately.
We got any lawyers in the chat?
I must be one of the few who doesn't want to bring him back.
Oh, Martin, don't say that.
Martin.
Why? Why don't you want him back?
No, because the team's different now. Oh, he's a wonderful talent. Don't get me wrong, he's a wonderful talent. Team's different now. Can he do a Jack Grealish role? I'm not sure.
Different dynamic, Martin. He'll offer something different in a game where maybe that might not be working, and we need just literal route one, ball over the top, Leroy Sané. We've seen it. We saw it for years. It was beautiful.
I've got a feeling he was his agent. He's trying to sell him. No, he's quite right. He's but to me, I've always had an issue with Sané's tracking back, and I think Pep had the issue with the tracking back issue.
Yeah,
on his day he can be world class. But then on other days, he just stands there with his hands on his hips. And that was the thing that frustrated me with him a little bit. It to me, was one of them, had the world at his feet. And it was, did you want it? Did you fully want it?
50 million, no. 50 million. You're saying no. Tell me that you're going to say no to 50 million.
What system are we playing? This is the
No,
it's this system.
No, this ain't Football Manager, Martin. I'm asking you. We're in the pub. You've had a pint, and I'm saying, Martin, 50 million, Sane, yes or no?
Yeah. All right, we'll go.
Yeah, one Martin.
He was bullied into that.
We forced him. We forced him into that one.
I want to know where my lawyer is. Can I have my lawyer in here? What's going on here?
Big up Dave, man. We're doing with the super chat. Says, what do you think about Mane and Sané? Yeah, mad, mate. Crazy situation, obviously. Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? It's really bizarre. And then he says, damn, super chat gone to waste. Yeah, let's get into the transfers then, man. I want to speak about Jude Bellingham. Obviously, we've all seen it. I'm sure you've all spoke about it on Mancunian Way and on the JSGC channel or various whatever shows you guys are doing at the moment. Liverpool reportedly out of this deal, and it's looking pretty convincing with the reports that Liverpool just can't match the fee for Jude Bellingham. They think they need 2 to 3 midfielders, and if they want Jude Bellingham, whether they can afford him in the first place, one question. But if they do get him, they won't be able to get anyone else. I mean, where are we at this with fellas? Because actually, as much as Jude Bellingham is admired around the world as a footballer, there's quite a lot of City fans that are not that convinced on him, and I'm wondering where you boys are on this. Hugh, let me start. You shaking your head, lad. What are you saying? Not happy with this?
I want
lawyer as well.
Bellingham. No, listen. Let's all chill out. Let's be men about this, right? I want Jude Bellingham. I really want them. I don't understand anybody who does not want Jude Bellingham. It's not cool. It's not edgy to say you don't want a top player in the future. I think I'm with you. You've made this point a few times. I think right now people are gassing him up a little bit too much. But undeniably, for anybody who watches him consistently, you will know the ceiling of this kid is Ballon d'Or level, world-class level, one of the best to ever play midfield. I believe that under the right guidance. And the right guidance for that player who has made top midfielder after top midfielder is Josep Guardiola. I think personally, and I don't know that there's no reports have come out to say this is true. There's no concrete evidence yet to say he's coming to City. I think he's made that decision. The report that came out from the Madrid guy and Rob Dawson, or one of them, said that Haaland and Grealish have been massive influences in his decision, that kind of thing. I think he simply told Liverpool, no, you're not the place I need to go. I think he's coming to City. I think it'll be announced in the next couple of weeks, and it's the right move from the club. We don't need what Liverpool need. We don't need an overhaul in midfield. We don't need a massive clear out and an influx of players. We need that one little sprinkle of magic. And bear in mind, he could be at our club for 10, 15 years. As you said this morning on a stream, LB, I was listening. What's mad is this kid won't be in his peak till 2030. That's crazy. I think it's one for now and one for the future, and it's great business. There's the tweet.
That's interesting. Now, you said it's not cool, it's not edgy, right? JCC, Martin, are you going to be cool or edgy?
I'll let Jay go first.
I'll go first. Jude Bellingham's an exceptional player. And to me, rather than City going out there and making signings for the sake of signings, I want to sign players that improve our squad. And Jude Bellingham, give him 2 years under Pep, will improve our squad. So my stance on this is speak to Dortmund, ask what price they want. And if we've got the money, like we did with Jack Grealish, if we're happy to pay it and get the transfer done.
So you'd have it. You only got no concerns. Big transfer for 130 million. You're happy for City to go because obviously the other option is probably McAllister, probably a little bit cheaper. Probably for me personally, I've said this morning. I've said it on the last couple of streams. I fully believe. I think McAllister in the short term is a better option for Manchester City than Jude Bellingham. I think McAllister would come into this Manchester City side, and in my view, my own opinion, I think he would from day one, I think he would be better than Jude Bellingham. But after 1-2 years, as you just said, Jace, I think then the pendulum swings the complete other way in favour of Jude Bellingham. And by the way, when I say I think McAllister is going to be better than Jude in the first year or the first 2 years, I'm not talking about like massive gap. I'm talking that I think he'll probably find himself a little bit more comfortable in the team and his role. I don't think he's going to be like. I don't think it's going to be like night and day sort of difference. I just think it'll be a little bit better. But you're paying for potential with Jude Bellingham, aren't you? You know that's what this transfer fee is. He's not a £135 million player. He's probably a £70 million player right now. It maybe less than that, maybe a little bit more. That extra money is because, as Hugh said, Jude Bellingham has the potential to win the Ballon d'Or. He has the potential to become the greatest midfielder of his generation, and potentially he could be up there with some of the all-time greats. That's his potential, and that's why he's worth the money. Martin, where you at?
I think I got a word this.
Don't be edgy, Martin. I'm telling you.
No edginess. And it isn't from probably the same people you guys know. I got told it was already done months ago by someone who knows someone at Dortmund. Came to someone at Dortmund, it was done. And that was when I started hearing it from 2 or 3 people, I started hearing the same story and the same calculations. I'm like, right, something in this. I'm with Jaggy, and yeah, I think you just told Liverpool no. Because it's weird how you go with an £84 million bid and then 90 minutes later they're out the race. There's not even a negotiation there. That is, sorry, you're too late at the party. This is already signed, sealed, delivered, and done. And I do apologise for the weather. That's all the Liverpool fans crying at the moment. That's why the weather's terrible outside. This is just, to me, I think it'll be a fantastic signing. The price is Enzo Fernandez worth 125 though. When 6 months ago he was what 20 million?
10 million.
And the trouble is the price is what the prices will be.
Correct.
They're astronomical.
Yeah.
And I've always had this with Jack Grealish. Oh, he's 100 million. I'm not bothered what the price is. He's 19, like you said. He's going to learn under Pep Guardiola. Couldn't you think of a better? Look how good he is now at 19. Imagine him at 22, 23. You're paying for everything there. And yeah, 135, whatever it is, 140. I'm looking at Jude as a 10-year player at Manchester City.
Maybe more, maybe 15, Martin.
You're talking 10, 12 years out the guy.
Yeah.
And he's good. And to me, everyone thinks Gundogan. I genuinely see him as the KDB replacement. Because KDB's our transition. That's what Jude does. Now, if you can come in and learn under the maestro of Kevin for a year or two, while playing a little bit deeper as an 8, and then you push forward as the 10, hey, presto.
Yeah.
I just don't buy into all this. Why wait 2 years? 2 years I'm waiting. oh, hang on, we put an 84 million bid in, 90 minutes later, it's off.
Mm-hmm.
There's not even a negotiation. Something has been said when they've gone to bid, someone has told them, forget. You don't even bother because you don't do that in 90 minutes. You don't stick a bid in and then 90 minutes later just walk away after 2 years of trying to do it.
No, do you know what it is,
That's
Martin?
madness.
It's so that they can have evidence for their fans that look, we made an attempt, we tried to get him, we tried to get our top target, but that's not going to resonate. It's not going to sit well with anybody who has half a brain. It's quite clear you knew the price for the best part of 18 months. You knew the package it would require to get Jude Bellingham, but you don't have that. You don't have that juice right now. You don't have the cash to do that. So you're fooling anybody. I think it was just pettiness.
You know what I think? I've got a slightly different view. Well, I think I've got a slightly different view. I think that City have had this 125, 130 million pound deal agreed with Dortmund and probably agreed with the player, his wages and that. I do genuinely believe that Jude Bellingham was probably waiting for maybe Liverpool to make a bid, not necessarily because he wanted to go to Liverpool, just maybe to see what his options were. Liverpool, I believe, what I think's happened, have then gone to Dortmund in recent days or in the last week or something and said, here's our offer and of like 84 million quid or whatever it was, because that's what the reported fee is. And Dortmund have turned around and gone, no, you don't understand. This 130 million pound price that we quoted, it's already been agreed with City. You need to match it. And they've gone, nah, we can't do it. So I don't know whether it's the player. I don't know whether it's Liverpool. I don't know whether it's Dortmund. But I just think that City have had this deal agreed for a long time because that's what City will do. City are not going to wait until April. Or May. City get this stuff does, and I completely agree. It's probably done this 4 months ago. Probably did it in December. You know what I mean? Got this deal agreed. I think we've probably been waiting on Liverpool or Real Madrid or whatever to match the offers so Jude Bellingham can make his decision. And Liverpool have gone to them and said, "This is our best offer," and they've gone, "Nah, see you later, lads." So,
and by the way, I'm not in the know, so I know that I'm not in the know. I'm just I'm told by
well. I've just put 100 quid on it now, Martin, and if it loses,
hey, no, do you know what?
Wow.
I went and put money on it when he told me. So the guy knows who he is. He is watching. It's on you if this doesn't happen, not on me.
Anything on?
Whoever thinks it is, by the way. Some may think it's somebody else. It's not who everyone thinks it may be.
Anything else on Jude Bellingham, guys, before we wrap up, man?
Hey, Jude.
Hey, Jude, are you really starting that?
Don't be lying.
You started it.
What numbers you wearing?
I think the best case scenario for me in this is we get Jude and Gundogan signs at least another year or two. I would like to have both of them at the club at the same time. I think Gundogan will be great guidance for Jude Bellingham. I don't want Jude Bellingham to have to come in and play twice a week, 90 minutes, and we continue to burn out his already fractured body quite clearly. When you see him, he's taped up.
100%.
So I think having Gundogan there just to bed him in, help him learn the ways. They can kind of share that role. Maybe Gundogan can take a back seat and Jude does, the 60, 70 minutes of each game kind of thing. That's a dream for me. I'd absolutely love that.
Big up, man. Finish off with the super chats. Mark says, Sane was sulking on the bench at City and wanted out last time. We don't need him and don't need any more players causing unrest in the dressing room. He's coming in with a 5. Fair dues, Mark. Mojis with the 3 months says they spent years whining and dining him, taking him for walks and front row to Chris Brown concerts, all for him to dunk on their heads in sky blue. That's from Mojis. That's funny, man. Master Will with the 2 months says, who do you think is going to have a better chance at City, McAtee or Tommy Doyle? Probably McAtee, but I think it's difficult for both of them, to be honest with you. Big up Bray with the 2 months. I guess it's not Bray, but it's probably Brayer. But it's too much close to Bray. Says Hugh have bought Grizz the City shirt with Jude.
Listen, man, I'll get him one. I'll definitely get him one. We need to see that happen.
And big up Entwined Rope with the 2 says Maximo Perrone over Jude Bellingham. Big Perrone fan there. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Go and subscribe to Mancunian Wear. I put the channel name in the description. I put Jace's there as well. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream. If you have, make sure you drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel. Big up Dave with the super chat. If MC don't use Hey Jude in his unveiling, we riot.
He might watch this. He'll turn up in Madrid. He'll get a nice bit of sun in Madrid.
I know. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Smash a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. See you later.